So, this is about the different marketing aspects na involved sa feasibility study. So, sisimulan natin ito sa pag-develop ng product details. Dito sa product innovation and development, may mga researcher kasi yung company. Itong mga researcher na to, ang task nila is to improve yung current product lineup. Halimbawa sa cellphone. Every year, may bagong model ng cellphone, may mga improvements. Na-create itong mga improvements dahil sa mga researchers. And then, yung mga researchers, they must highlight yung innovations na ginawa nila that makes their product or service unique sa market. By highlighting these changes, this innovation, and including it dun sa proposal, we can say na these researchers, has created the unique selling proposition of this new product. These are some guide questions that will help you create your product innovation. So, una dito, what makes your product or service different from existing ones sa market? By answering this question, you will be able to identify ano yung mga new features, improvement, or uniqueness that separates your product from the competitors. Kapag wala kayong innovation, yung product ninyo would look like a copy or imitation, and customers may not see a reason to buy your product. Next is, what specific innovation have you introduced? Dito, you need to clearly describe yung new aspect. For example, meron bang pinagbago sa design, sa function, materials, or even dun sa delivery ng service. Be very specific para makita ng evaluators yung true value ng innovation ninyo. Then, what is your unique selling proposition? Yung USP ninyo, ito yung product's signature advantage nyo. It is the one statement that answers bakit bibilhin ng customers yung product nyo. Lastly, how does this innovation address customer pain points or unmet needs? Nagiging successful yung isang negosyo kapag they were able to address or solve yung customer problems. Itong question na to, it ensures you that you connect your innovation doon sa real customer need. Hindi lang siya basta creative idea. This SWOT analysis, this is a technique for assessing yung strength, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities ng business. This is also a tool that can help you analyze kung ano ba ang best na ginagawa ng company nyo right now and to devise a successful strategy para naman sa future. These are some guide questions that will help you create or write your SWOT analysis. Una is, ano ba yung strengths ng product or services offered niyo compared sa competitors? So, you need to assess this one sa positive internal factors ng company. So, internal muna, ano yung strength ng product or services proposed ninyo compared dun sa competitors. And then, dito naman sa weakness, this is about weakness or limitations ng product na pwede nyo pang ma-improve. So, this is the negative internal factors. You need to address this one then. Ano yung kahinaan ng proposal niyo or your proposed product or services. And then, yung opportunities sa current market environment. So, ngayon naman, external to. Ano yung mga external chances na pwede pa kayong mag-grow yung business or yung product or services na offered? And then lastly, this is about yung threats. So ano yung threats that could negatively impact your product or service success? So this one is also external risk or challenges. So itong dalawa, yung strength and weaknesses are internal and opportunities and threats are external. Maraming negosyo yung nagfe-fail because they focus too much dun sa product at nabaliwala nila yung mismong customer nila. Itong value proposition canvas, it helps you align your product with customer needs. Yung mga customer kasi, meron silang pains. Ito yung mga problems that they want to be solved. At meron din silang gains. Ito yung mga things that they want to achieve. So, your product must provide pain relievers and gain creators. So with this value proposition canvas, this actually forces you to prove that your product is not just nice to have, but essential to have. These are your guide questions. Una dito is, sino yung target customer segments nyo? So with this, you need to identify who are you selling to? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng nasa market is your customer. So you need to be clear about sa age, lifestyle, or group. And then, ano yung mga pains? Ito yung problems, frustrations, challenges, at ano naman yung mga gains? Ito yung mga benefits or desired outcomes. And then, how does your product or service provide pain relievers and gain creators? So, dito, gusto mong patunayan na yung product mo directly connects to customer needs, thus making it valuable instead of just being nice to have. So, this is a sample ng value proposition canvas sa loob ng grocery shopping experience. Okay. So, pagpasok pa lang niya dito, this is the customer. Ito yung mga inaasahan niya. Convenience, reward points, may curbside pickup, greater access to items, and quality. Ito yung gusto niyang mag-gain. Ayan, gains, benefits, or desired outcome. Tapos, ito yung kanyang pains. Baka mahaba yung pila, kailangan ko yata ng tulong, hindi ko makita yung items, unsure kung ano ba talaga yung sale. And then, ito yung kanyang task. So, ang task niya is, customer's job. Meal planning, buying food, buying gifts, managing finances, ganyan. So, ito yung pumapasok sa utak niya. Ngayon, papasok siya dito sa loob ng grocery store. So, na-meet ba yung kanyang desired outcome? Okay, meron delivery, may mobile apps, may curbside pickup. Then, how about yung pains niya? Meron bang pain reliever? So, ang pain reliever is yung may friendly service, madaling makita yung presyo, may price lookup, at merong self-checkout counter. So, ito yung pain points niya. Ito yung solution sa pain points niya or yung pain reliever. Mas bagay pinasabihin na pain reliever siya. And then, ito yung task niya. And ito naman yung outcome. Nakapag-grocery siya, nakakuha siya ng rewards plans and discounts. So, ito yung entirety ng value proposition canvas. The business model canvas naman, it is a tool to visualize yung lahat ng building blocks kapag nagsisimula ka ng business. So, including dito yung customers, yung ruta sa market, also yung value proposition, and yung finance. So, I have here some questions that will guide you in writing your business model canvas. So these questions make you think of your entire business system, hindi lang sa product. For example, a product cannot succeed without reliable suppliers, distribution methods, and also a way to earn revenue. So, sino yung mga key partners nyo na tutulong sa inyong maging successful? Ang mga example dito is yung supplier ninyo ng materials, yung packaging company na in-outsource ninyo, or yung mga e-commerce platforms katulad ng Shopee and Lazada. Pwede rin to yung mga halimbawa, yung campus bookstore or yung sa PUP, yung kooperatiba kung saan nakakapagtinda sila ng product nyo, or even yung mga student environmental organizations na makakatulong sa promotions ninyo. Then sa key activities, the question is, ano yung kailangan ninyong gawin para ma-deliver yung inyong value proposition? So, ang mga example nito is, ano ba yung product design and innovation ninyo? Tapos, sa manufacturing ninyo, ano yung quality standard nito? Is it consistent ba sa quality? Then, you can also check your social media marketing and influencer partnerships, or yung distribution ninyo sa mga local shops. And then, customer service, of course. Ano yung feedback collection ninyo or even yung after-sales support. Then, ano ba ang inyong key resources? Ano yung mga kailangan yung resources para mag-operate kayo? So, meron tayong 4 na resources. The physical resources, ito yung mga machines ninyo, materials, etc. Then, the intellectual resources. So, nandito yung mga patent design or yung copyrights. Then, we have human resources. So, ito na yung skilled na production staff ninyo, yung social media marketing ninyo, or yung mismo composition talaga, yung human resource management ninyo. And then, we have the financial resources. Do you have enough startup capital para dun sa business niyo to afford yung equipment, materials, promotions, yung human resources, intellectual resources, and lahat ng pagkakagastusan? You need to check. Dito sa part na to, huwag niyong isipin kung magkano ang pera nyo. Ang kailangan ninyong ilista dito is magkano ang gagastusin ninyo. Kasi this is only a proposal. Hindi nyo pa to i-implement base kung magkano yung kaya nyong i-pull naman. So, list down all the expenses, yung physical, intellectual, human resources. Tapos, sa financial, ito yung total ng lahat ng expenses ninyo. Dito, ilalagay ninyo magkano pa yung nakalaan para dun sa promotions, for startup capital, yung mga ganyan. Lahat ng figures na ilalagay nyo dito is hindi base sa wallet ninyo. Base sa reality or dun sa pagkakagastusan ng binubuo ninyong negosyo. Kanina na-discuss na natin kung paano magsulat ng value proposition. So, dito sagutin ninyo, bakit kayo pipiliin ng customers nyo? Ano yung problem nila na pwede nating ma-resolve? And then, dito sa customer relationship, this is about your interaction with customers and ano yung plano ninyo to retain them. So, meron ba kayong active engagement sa Instagram and TikTok? Meron ba kayong after-sales service katulad ng email or chat support? Tapos, nagbibigay ba kayo ng discounts para sa mga repeat buyers ninyo? Yan yung kailangan ninyong sabihin. Ano yung gusto, paano ninyo i-build yung customer relationship? Kaya ang tanong na magandang sagutin dito o ang magandang tanong dito is how do you interact and retain your customers? Sa customer segments naman, dito, you need to answer yung question na sino ang pinaka-importante na customer. So, for example, sino yung primary customers ninyo? Halimbawa, yung cafe ninyo o yung business ninyo is nandun sa UBEL. Then, yung primary customers ninyo are the university students. Then, sino naman yung secondary? Sino yung pwede pang maging customer ninyo? For example, yung cafe, malapit siya doon sa gym. E di yung mga gym customers. At ano yung niche ninyo? Provided na nandun kayo sa UBEL na mahilig ang mga students sa mga aesthetic na coffee shop. So, yun yung niche ninyo. Tapos, yung coffee shop nyo ba is this an environmental friendly advocates? Ganyan. Then, that's the niche. Then, you define yung target market characteristics ninyo. So, sino ang mga to? Ano yung characteristics nila? Define these university belt students. Sa channels naman, this is about kung paano ninyo ma-reach at makakapag-deliver sa customers. So, for example, meron kayong sales channels. Ang negosyo ninyo is a product naman, hindi naman cafe. So, sa sales channels ninyo, saan nyo siya binibenta? For example, university bookstores, sa Shopee, sa Lazada, and other stores na may access kayo. Doon naka-display yung product ninyo. Then, meron din itong marketing channels. Saan nakikita yung promotions ninyo? Meron ba to sa Instagram, TikTok, Facebook? Meron ba kayong posters sa schools? Ganyan. And then, yung communication nyo sa customers, paano ito? Meron ba kayong email newsletter? Meron ba kayong events? Ganyan. Identify each channels. Paano ninyo nare-reach yung customers? Paano na-deliver din yung product sa customers ninyo? Next naman is yung cost structure. Ang tanong dito is, ano ang biggest expenses ninyo? Kailangan i-list daw ninyo dito yung variable cost, fixed cost, yung marketing expenses ninyo, distribution and logistics expenses, rent and utilities. Ganyan. Sa variable cost, ito yung lahat ng raw materials para mabuo yung product ninyo. For example, ang product ninyo is a lotion. So, ano yung kailangan para mabuo itong lotion? May bote, yung content ng liquid mismo ng lotion, tapos yung packaging nito. So, those are yung raw materials. Then, we have yung fixed cost. So, fixed cost naman, ito yung hindi parte siya ng product itself, pero necessary ito para mabuo yung product, katulad ng labor, yung mga taong nagtatrabaho sa machine na to, yung salaries, yan, labor salaries, ganyan, yung manufacturing staff salaries. So, lahat ng salaries na involved para mabuo yung produkto, yun yung fixed cost ninyo. Then, meron din kayong marketing expenses. Yung marketing expenses ninyo, yung gastos ninyo sa mga advertisement, o kaya meron ba kayong influencer fees. Then, sa distribution and logistics. So, identify if may mga partnership ba kayo sa e-commerce, ganyan. And then, mag-rent ba kayo ng place? Kailangan ba mag-rent ng place para ma-produce itong item? Hindi naman pwede na sa garahe lang ginagawa yung item. So, lista ninyo kung magkano yung rent dun sa manufacturing place. Tapos yung estimated utilities, yung water, yung electricity, yan, para sa production. Ilista ninyo yung cost structure. So, malapit siya dito sa key resources, yung mga kailangan ninyo to operate, and yung cost structure. Dito naman, more on accounting siya, na talagang bibigyan nyo siya ng account name. Like, this is a rent expense, salaries and wages, na under sa fixed cost. Sa variable cost naman, ito yung mga raw materials, And then, lastly, is yung revenue streams. How do we make money? So, ano ba ang main revenue ninyo? Halimbawa, yung produkto ninyo is a lotion. Ito yung lotion yung main revenue. Tapos, magkano yung SRP nito? Tapos, mag-ano kayo, mag-forecast kayo how many sales yung kailangan ma-produce ninyo. Like, 10,000 units of lotion. Mako-cover na ba nito yung lahat ng gastos ninyo sa production? Tingnan ninyo how many units ng lotion yung kailangan ma-produce to cover yung monthly expenses ninyo. Tapos, yan, payment options. Sa payment options, ano yung mga i-implement ninyo to collect? Cash in-store, GCash, credit card, Shopee Pay, Lazada Pay. Sabihin ninyo, how do you collect your sales? Sa competitor analysis, this refers to the competitive advantage ng product nyo among its competitors. So these are the guide questions. Sino yung direct and indirect competitors ninyo? So, ito yung mga businesses that offer similar or substitute product. For example, yung product ninyo is a tumbler. Ngayon, ang direct competitor ninyo, for example, is Hydro Flask na tumbler. Ang inyo namang indirect competitor is yung mga nagbebenta lang ng regular na plastic bottle na lalagyanan ng tubig. So, identify sino ang direct at indirect competitors ninyo. Yung indirect competitors, ito yung mga pwedeng i-substitute sa product ninyo. Next is, ano naman yung advantages ng product nyo over your direct competitor? So, balik tayo sa tumbler na example. Ano yung competitive advantage ng tumbler nyo? Ano ba siya? Collapsible ba siya? Saan ba siya gawa? Eco-friendly ba siya? Bakit siya bibilin? Bakit hindi bibilin halimbawa yung Hydro Flask na tumbler? Bakit yung sa inyo yung pipiliin? Lastly, ano yung strategies na ginagamit ng competitors nyo and how will you counter them? Yan. So, how do you plan to differentiate yung product ninyo? Halimbawa, yung Hydro Flask, they rely dun sa branding nila, ano yung na-establish nilang image, di ba ginagamit siya ng mga celebrities, nakakuha siya ng Hollywood celebrities to endorse Hydro Flask. Kayo naman, ano yung pagkakaiba nyo sa Hydro Flask na tumbler kapag yan yung product ninyo? So, isipin niyo paano nyo madi-differentiate yung product ninyo among dun sa competitors? Ay, meron ba kayong strategy na pwedeng implement na para maging equal footing kayo dun sa leading tumbler? Kasi halimbawa, yung Hydro Flask, gumagamit siya ng Hollywood celebrities. Kayo, ano yung pwede nyo gamitin para maging kasing popular ng Hydro Flask yung product yun na tumbler? Now, nasa price na tayo. So, una dito is yung product costing. So, this one refers to the detailed costing ng overall expense per product and its market price. Here are the guide questions. Una, ano yung direct and indirect cost involved sa pag-produce ng product or ng service? So, kanina, naipaliwanag ko na yung direct at indirect cost. Ilista nyo ulit ano yung expenses nyo sa materials, labor, at overhead cost. And then, ano yung estimated na unit cost ninyo per product or service? Unit cost muna, ito yung cost per item. How much yung value ng isang item after the manufacturing process. So, hindi pa ito yung SRP. Halimbawa is yung bote ng lotion. Magkano yung production cost nito? Yun yung cost per item. So, halimbawa, nakapag-produce kayo ng 10,000 units ng bote. magkano yung total cost ng production na 'to. So, meron kayong halimbawa na 100,000 na expenses para mabuo yung 10,000 units. So, yung 100,000 ninyo, i-divide ninyo sa 10,000. So, lumalabas na ₱10 yung cost per unit nung bote na 'to. And then, how does the cost structure compare with competitors? So, after getting yung unit cost ninyo, then define nyo na yung markup ninyo. Is it 50% markup? So, the unit cost plus yung markup cost ninyo, magkano yung SRP nyo. So, halimbawa, ang SRP ninyo dun sa lotion is 120. Ano naman ang presyo ng competitor ninyo with that same lotion? Siyempre na-differentiate nyo na yung lotion namin is different from competitor A. Gano'n naman kalapit or kalayo yung presyo ninyo dun sa competitor ninyo? So, explain that. Dito naman is your pricing strategy. Kanina 'di ba, pinag-usapan natin yung markup ninyo. So, how did you come up with that markup? So, by utilizing a certain pricing strategy. So, unang question dito is, what pricing model yung i-a-adapt ninyo? Is it a penetration, skimming, competitive, or value-based na pricing strategy? For example, ang pinili ninyo is a penetration pricing kung saan to enter the market, nagbenta kayo ng as cheapest as possible ng product ninyo. Halimbawa, ang cost ng product ninyo to create, to be made is 100 pesos. Then, ang SRP na pinagdesisyonan ninyo is 130 bilang you want to enter the market as new product and you utilize niyo yung penetration pricing. Tell your investor about this na gagamitin nyo itong klaseng pricing strategy. Then, how will your price position your product in the market? Is it a premium product, affordable, or mid-range product? Best example nito is yung mga cellphone models. So, merong premium or flagship models, merong mid-range models, at merong lower than mid-range models. Then, how will you ensure profitability and scalability with your pricing strategy? So, for example, pinili ninyo penetration pricing. Kaya nyo bang i-ensure na you will gain that this strategy is profitable pa rin sa inyo after 2 or 3 years? Or meron lang bang certain duration ito? Or if ang gagawin ninyo is skimming, like mahal kaagad, expensive agad yung product ninyo, tapos gradually, ibababa ninyo yung presyo na laging ginagawa naman ng Samsung sa kanyang mga flagship phones. So, check if yung strategy ninyo will be profitable in certain duration. Ayan, nandito na tayo ngayon sa projected market share. Ito yung formula niyan. Yung population, and then ito yung price, and then ito yung projected market share. So, paano tayo na-come up with this? Una is identify ninyo yung target market size ninyo, yung demand population. For example, itong 3,984 is a percentage ng target population ninyo. Halimbawa, this is 1% ng population ng Nueva Ecija. For example lang, 1% siya na population ng Nueva Ecija. Ayan na yun. Ito yan. At your proposed price, ano yung percentage ng market that you expect to capture. So, yung population muna ng Nueva Ecija, ito yung target market size ninyo. And then, yung percentage na ina-expect ninyong ma-notice yung product ninyo. So, halimbawa, 1%. Then, you multiply this sa SRP. So, yan yung sagot dito sa how did you compute yung projected sales revenue ninyo by using the formula given here. This is about your place of business. So, saan yung target place of implementation ninyo? So, ito yung mga guide questions. Where will the product or service be first introduced? Saan yung launch location ninyo? Halimbawa, Metro Manila. Saan sa Metro Manila? Sa San Juan. Ganon. Tapos ano specific sa San Juan? Sa SM Malls ba? Sa Robinsons Malls? Tell us. Then, why is this location strategic? Ano yung reason bakit ito yung pinili ninyo? Then, does the chosen location match yung target market's demographics and preferences? Nagmamatch ba ito sa characteristics ng target market ninyo? Ibig sabihin ba, pag nilagay nyo siya sa malls, yung capacity to pay ng target market ninyo is captured. Then, ano naman yung mga gagamitin ninyo na distribution channels such as yung wholesalers, merchants, distributors, and even yung mga e-commerce channels ninyo. Then, these are the guide questions. So, which distribution channels will you use? Ito na yon. Meron ba kayong retailers? Kukuha ba kayo ng wholesalers? Meron ba kayong e-commerce shop? Or direct selling yung gagawin ninyo? Then, how will your product reach yung end consumers? So, ang flow ba nito is kayo yung manufacturer, tapos may retailer kayo, then papunta dun sa target market? Ano yung flow chart? Show yung flow chart. So, next is, ano naman yung benefits and challenges ng napili ninyong distribution channels? So, halimbawa, ano kayo, ang pinili ninyo is direct selling. Ano yung benefits and challenges ng having a direct selling kind of distribution channel? This is the last part ng place, which is about yung floor plan. This is the blueprint ng place ninyo. So, these are the guide questions. So, paano ninyo i-design yung layout ng store, office, or yung production site ninyo? Marami kayong makikita reference material sa Google. Just type in sample floor plan. And then, how will yung floor plan ninyo contribute dun sa efficiency and customer experience? So, if this is a store, gaano ka-efficient yung floor plan ng store ninyo? Some examples ng floor plan. So, ito is a planta, manufacturing plant floor plan. Siyempre, hindi identified kung ano yung mga department na within this planta. Pero as you can see clearly, may mga offices, may assembly area, merong tool room, utility, nandito yung welding, nandito yung another assembly. Yan. Ito yung sample ng planta. Then we have this naman, yung store layout. So this is a grocery store. Merong specials section, dry goods, breakfast section, chips, ayan. You need to visualize ano ba ang itsura ng store ninyo or manufacturing plant. So, ngayon, promotion na tayo. You are already familiar dapat sa integrated marketing communication strategies na take nyo na ito. So, ngayon, ito na naman yung mga guide questions na makakatulong sa inyo to refresh your IMC strategies. Una dito is, which promotion tools yung gagamitin ninyo? Is it advertising, sales promotion, PR, social media? Pwede naman combination, pwedeng multiple. Then, paano ninyo ma-integrate itong mga tools na to into a consistent brand message? So, you need to keep your message uniform kasi kailangan ng consistency. And lastly, how will you measure yung effectiveness ng promotional strategies? Kailangan meron kayong tools to track results. such as paano ninyo imo-monitor yung sales growth, yung social media engagement, at yung survey feedback. So, show it sa paper ninyo. How will you measure yung effectiveness ng mga ito? This is the last part ng marketing aspect, which is about packaging. So, meron tinatawag na interior and exterior layout. So, this will be the design of the product packaging ninyo. And these are the guide questions. Una, ano yung mga design elements na gagamitin ninyo sa packaging, such as yung colors, fonts, and shape? Of course, kailangan ipakita nyo to visually. Hindi nyo lang to basta sasabihin na gagamit ako ng pink, gagamit ako ng Arial font, at ang shape nito is box shape. No, show this visually. Then, next question is, how will the packaging design communicate your brand identity and USP? Ito naman, you need to clearly show visually yung connection between design and product uniqueness ninyo. And then, the next one is about sustainability ng packaging. So, these are the guide questions. Una, is your packaging eco-friendly or recyclable? Kailangan mag-build kayo ng packaging na hindi makakasira sa environment. And then, how does sustainable packaging give you competitive advantage? Provide reason why it gives you competitive advantage. Then, lastly, we have packaging innovation, if any, pero sana meron. So, this section refers to the innovation ng packaging presentation ninyo. And these are the guide questions. Ano yung innovative features na you added dun sa packaging ninyo? Marami nito sa Japan, yung mga iba't ibang klaseng packaging ng candy nila. Diba yung madaling punitin sa side. Even yung mga Korean products, yung innovation nila dun sa packaging nila ng mga sachet, may nakasulat doon na dito mo siya pupunitin, yung mga ganyan. So, I will show it to you later. Then, how about yung packaging innovation ba na to, does it enhances customer experience or does it give you product differentiation? So, explain.